What's up, guys? I am back. I'm looking at some more NFL and also I have an MLB play for you guys in today's video. Got a couple plays I'm feeling pretty good about that I'm giving you guys for today's Monday Night Football slate. And of course, we have a smaller MLB slate today as well. So let's hop in and let's keep cashing. Yesterday in the DubClub, we were able to cash a couple of winners here. We had 40 to 210 right there between the Steelers and Ricky Pearsall, who had over 100 yards. You also have this entry here between Baker Mayfield, Ibuka, as well as Austin Eckler, 40 to 210 right there. And then we are waiting on DJ Moore's targets here to cash out 40 to 210 right there as well. So the DubClub, especially on these live plays, cooked yesterday. But I've got some free plays for you guys today. If you guys want a third play in tomorrow's video, be sure to leave a like on this one here. If we get to 125 likes, I'll drop a third play in tomorrow's video for you guys. While you're down to leave a like, you may as well also subscribe to the channel with the notifications on. That way you get in before these lines get bumped to get removed. Now, last thing before we get to the free plays is to not miss out on checking out the DubClub if you have not already. It is 50% off for a limited time for my best package. That includes all sports, all plays, everything. You can see the different winners that we've had, the different testimonies that we've had. But it's super easy to join the DubClub with that discount. You just go down to my description, click on the first link that's there, and you should get access to this promo here to be a green banner just like this that pops up at the bottom of your screen. You just click on the claim button and it pulls up for you two different discounts. 50% off your first month or 60% off of the next 3 months. And when you join the DubClub, first thing you should do in my opinion is connect your Discord to DubClub. That way you get access to all the premium channels over my Discord where you'll see entries that look just like this. Like I said earlier, we cashed out on Allen and Shakir's second half yards right there. You also have my community chat to talk to me and the members about plays or whatever's going on, as well as my contributors' plays to post their plays. You have golf plays, WNBA, soccer, esports, KBO baseball plays from these guys, and they all do some amazing work. It really is a great place to be. Come get in on some winners with us. We about cashed out on this one right here. This was one of the most brutal misses I've ever had. 40 to over 1,000 right there. I posted this one to the DubClub as a lottery pick, and we were CJ Stroud away there. It was pretty unfortunate. They had a whole drive where they did not throw the ball and ran the ball like 7 straight times. So it was pretty infuriating right there. CJ Stroud could have cashed for over 1,000 for me, but it is what it is. But overall, we were able to cash a couple of 3-mans there, and DJ Moore can make it yet another one over in the DubClub. So if you have not already, make sure that you join right now. We've already cashed a 6.5x on primetime this year. We've cashed an 8x on primetime last year. We about cashed another 3-man yesterday, actually, on primetime as well. But we've been killing on the primetime slate so far. Let's hopefully make it 3 straight days in the primetime games, cashing at least a 6x, unless you're including Sunday Night Football, I guess, which I guess is prime time. Thursday night, Friday night, though, we have the cash 6.5 and 8.5x. Let's see what we can do on Monday night, man. So come join us if you have not already. 50% off for a limited time. Get in right now if you have not already. All right, with that out of the way, let's get to these free plays. Make sure you play responsibly at your own risk. Leave a like on this video here and subscribe if you have not already, and let's get to these plays. The first play on the PrizePicks board for tonight's slate in the NFL is going to be over in the receiving yards category, and I'm going to go with DeAndre Swift. Over 16.5 receiving yards in this game here. I think 3 targets is also pretty solid there as well. I'm expecting at least 2 catches though for Swift. I think he can get 17 here with those 2 catches. Now Swift has been over his yards in 59% of games. That's what it was last year. The Vikings allowed a lot of receiving yards per game last year, but running backs, they were pretty good, averaging only 26.2 given up per game last year. You see how other teams have done in terms of receiving yards against the Vikings in the past. Well, the Lions had 31 right there. The Seahawks had 57 there. The Bears only had 10 in that game, but they've had 45 in the game before. But DeAndre Swift is an interesting spot because this Bears backfield is already kind of banged up right now. They have Roschon Johnson, who only had 1 practice this week, which was limited. And you also have Kyle here, the rookie who was drafted in the 7th round, being pretty much the only other healthy running back, basically, for this Bears team that's going to get a little bit of run. So Swift is going to be the guy that's out there the majority of the time. I would be very surprised if they had that 7th round rookie out there a lot for those passing downs. I think Swift will be able to have at least 2 catches in this spot. And you can see that he is extremely juiced actually for 2 catches in this spot. And he is like a minus 216, minus 260, minus 263 for at least 2 catches. And DeAndre Swift, when he has at least 2 catches, has been covering this line pretty much every single time. This game right here, he had no catches. This game here, he had 3 and 4 catches clearing his line. He had only 1 catch there, 1 catch there when he missed. This game, he did have 2 catches where he had 13 yards. That's the only game he missed when he had at least 2 catches last year. This is going to be a much different offense as well, as I'm expecting it to be, with Ben Johnson now being the coach for the Bears and calling the plays. I think it's going to be very, very huge because last year you saw what Jahmyr Gibbs did in the receiving game. I do not think DeAndre Swift is going to be Jahmyr Gibbs, but if it is going to be anything even close, in terms of scheme or anything like that, DeAndre Swift should be the receiving back for this team, I think, or the guy getting the targets and the catches. Last year against the Vikings, DeAndre Swift had 35 receiving yards and 10 receiving yards in those games. That game he had 3 catches, though, which was an overtime game. This one he only had 1 catch, which was an 18-point loss to Minnesota. So if he had 2 catches in that game, like, again, he was expected to do, I feel like he could get 5 yards on that second catch. So I think DeAndre Swift is in a pretty good spot for pretty much all those reasons. The backfield already being injured. I don't think Rashawn Johnson might play, but if he does play, I think he would be limited to some fashion with him only having like 1 limited practice this entire week. You also have the new offensive coordinator, as well as the odds being in our favor, I would say, with him being so juiced for 2 catches and how consistent he has been when he has had 2 catches in the past. So DeAndre Swift, I think, is in a great spot to go over his receiving yards here. I like him personally in the receiving game a little bit, even if he doesn't have that many. And the books, I believe, are also expecting Caleb Williams to throw the ball a little bit today. So I think DeAndre Swift should be in a pretty good spot to go over his receiving yards. I think a lot of things are in our favor. I think there's a lot of upside for DeAndre Swift to go over 14.5 receiving yards in this spot. So before we get to the next play, if you've already seen Rebet, it is one of the newer apps out there right now, and it's super unique because it's in all these states, as you can see right there. And you can also pick teams to win the game or the spread or things like that. It's a very, very cool app, as you can see here. Like, you can pick the Vikings to win the game today, or same with the Bears if you wanted to. They, of course, have players on the board as well. If you just go to like Prop City here, you can see all different players on there. You can see the over-under on here as well, first half total. There's so much value available on this app here. You'll, of course, have passing yards, where you get these guys down to like 200 yards, basically, for like J.J. McCarthy, all the way up to like at least 300, I think, is on the board here. It's a really unique app, and you can see that they also have, all the games on the board there as well. But they also have a ton of sports as well, like, of course, the MLB. They have soccer, the WNBA. It's a very, very cool app, so go check it out for yourself if you have not already. If you use my promo code DOMG, you can get a $100 purchase match when you sign up for Rebet using my promo code DOMG. Link will be available in my description. All right, now getting to my next play here. This one's going to be over in the MLB here. We're going to head over to the MLB here since we have a short, of course, 1-game NFL slate. We do have a small MLB slate as well. That's going to be Julio Rodriguez tonight, over 6.5 hitter fantasy score. I like the value on this one. He is going to be a goblin here, over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. He's at 6.5 fantasy score over on PrizePicks. That's pretty good. I think it's in our favor a little bit. So J-Rod has been over his hit, runs, and RBIs in 60% of games, but his fantasy score in 58% of games, as you can see there. And I think the Mariners are in a pretty good spot here if you look at it. They're going to be at home here against Miles Mikolas, who has a 4.89 ERA this year. The over-under may only be at 7.5, but the Mariners are like a minus 230 to win this game. Basically, because the over-under is so low, basically because Brian Wu is such a good pitcher, I would say. But Julio Rodriguez in wins this year, if you look at it, has been pretty good with the score at least 2+ runs. When the win by 1 run does go down a little bit there, as you can see, but 2+ runs, man, 72% hit rate is very, very good. Slightly worse at home, but overall not really a concern for me, especially with them being so good in like the last 10 games, last 20 games or so. But the matchup should be pretty good for him against Miles Mikolas. Now, in the past, he's had 5 plate appearances against him, where he actually has had 2 hits against him. We'd love to see that. That's exactly what we're looking for in terms of a matchup or like a previous history against that pitcher. Now, Julio has been a little bit better this year against righties, while Mikolas has been a little bit better against righties himself. Not much better, though. A 4 ERA is still not very good, and a 2.67 batting average allowed is also not very good. That's in our favor there. But he mainly throws the fastball, the slider, and the curveball, while Rodriguez has a 342 on-base average. Against the fastball is a 389 on-base average, the slider is going to be a 348, and the curveball is a 300 on-base average. But that fastball and the slider is very, very good, and I would say, again, in our favor. So I think Julio Rodriguez is in a pretty good spot to go over his fantasy score for basically all those reasons. Good history. I like the over-under for how much the Mariners are favored here. His history is very good against Mikolas. It just makes a lot of sense to me here to take Julio Rodriguez as the guy from the Mariners today. I like backing the Mariners today as a whole. They're going to be one of my team stacks today over in the DubClub. But I think Rodriguez is going to be one of those guys that he's one of those guys that really stick out to me, especially with how good he has been as of late. I mean, he's been cooking. Like the last 10 games, he's been over this in 8 of his last 10. Last 20 is 65%. Rodriguez is in a pretty good spot tonight. So, of course, there's going to be a 2-man here between the NFL and the MLB, which would be 3x over on PrizePicks. If you guys want a third play tomorrow, again, leave a like on this video because it gets to 125 likes. I'll drop a third play for you guys tomorrow for some MLB plays. I'll have some Thursday Night Football probably Wednesday night on the channel if I had to guess. Maybe another one on Thursday too. Maybe we'll double up on Thursday Night Football. We'll see. But of course, you can get all of my plays over in the DubClub. We had a couple of NFL winners right there. As you can see, we had that one leg miss right there for that 6-man, which was friggin' brutal. But if you guys want to join the DubClub right now, is one of the best times to do so. We're catching winners, especially on these primetime slates. It is 50% off right now, as you can see there. And all you have to do is just use the link in my description to get access to this 50% off promo. So if you're not already joined, be sure to do so and connect your Discord to DubClub so you get all the different perks that are available over in my Discord. But overall, thank you for watching. I'll see you guys hopefully in the next video. Best of luck. If you want to submit over $5,000 of profit on PrizePicks, watch this video on your screen right here.